Thank you for tuning in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community, the only station giving you double the information and inspiration. You're listening to Highly Doubted, and I'm your host, K.Q Dawg. And what you just listening to was 2 Cents. That's my new single on all platforms. Make sure to go check that out. Also, I have another single called Thug Thizzle, also on all platforms. You got to go check that out. Whole mixtape, Solo Savage, is coming on the way. You already know. Also, Family Matters 2 this spring. Just want to put those out there. Got to get my punches. Well, today is a special day for Highly Doubted. First of all, February 14th, happy Valentine's Day for all those lovebirds and couples. But my special guest here is my man, Mack Smith. Before we get into Highly Doubted, I want you to introduce yourself. And with that in mind, give me something that you hold or something that you have a standard for when it comes to Valentine's Day.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say my name is Mack Smith. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. Grew up here. Known Cash probably about 15, 16 years. So
Oh my gosh, you sound so old.
I mean, we are in our 20s now.
You
So,
really sound
something you said standard for Valentine's Day.
like what's like when it's Valentine's Day and you have a sweetheart, what's a standard that you hold personally?
Rule number one, and the only rule and the main rule
Okay.
is to make sure that your girl is happy. That's the rule. Because if she's happy, then everything else is gonna be good.
Okay. So in your experiences, what things have you had to do to satisfy the girl's needs for Valentine's Day? I'm just talking about date wise.
Date wise,
yes.
Well, let's say you've been with this girl for a while, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so hopefully, or you should know like the things that she likes, and her favorite candies or her favorite restaurant. And so you make a day out of all the things that she likes for her, in order for her to be happy.
So every Valentine's date that you ever had on Valentine's Day was a success. Let's get Highly Doubted. We here.
Yes, I'm gonna say yes because there was one time where it actually snowed, so it messed up my whole Valentine's Day plan. So I had to reach in the back pocket for Plan B, like the backup plan.
All right. Okay.
And boom, she was still happy. So
all right. So
that was that.
So when your Plan A doesn't work out, you gotta have a backup plan.
Always have a backup plan.
How many backup plans? You got a backup plan for the backup plan?
It depends on the situation.
Okay.
Depends on the situation.
Well, I'm glad that you had a backup plan for that situation because you can't control the elements sometimes. Well, all right. So in terms of Valentine's Day, this is the Valentine's special for Highly Doubted. We're going to have throughout the whole show questions, tips, and a whole lot of more advice coming through these airways about Highly Doubted from a man-gentleman perspective. You know, Mack, if you know him, Mack, your boy, follow him on Instagram.
That's me.
He has a very flux of pictures of him all dappered down. So I definitely told him to come down so I could come down.
You see the sauce,
yeah,
the drip.
We both had to come down. We had to get right for the day. But yeah, man, this is definitely going to be a nice show. Definitely going to talk about a lot of things, talk about the love, and we're going to also talk about who you are and what you do aside from, impressing and dressing and all those things of that nature. When we right back, we will continue our discussion with Highly Doubted. You're listening to K.Q Dawg, and you're tuning to WDRB, the voice of the community, the only station give you double the information and inspiration. We'll be right back. Welcome back to WDRB Media, the voice of the community, and those streaming live to the free TuneIn Radio app or the iHeartRadio app. You're listening to Highly Doubted, and I'm your host, K.Q Dawg. And if you're just tuning in, we're discussing Highly Doubted with my special guest, Mack Smith.
Yes.
So, Mack, before we just talked about a couple tips, a couple rule number one. You know, we got the first rule out the way.
Rule number one and the only rule.
The only rule.
The only rule.
The only rule is
make your girl happy.
Make her happy, no matter what that is, and you should know what that. You should know what she
likes or what makes her happy, because if that's your girl, you should know who your girl is.
Boom. So, how long does it take for you to really know a person or know your girl?
It really depends. I mean, that's a really good question, actually. It varies on I guess if you're really into this girl. So the more into this girl you are, then the more you're going to know all about her.
Okay.
And then the less that you are into her, it might not be best that you're with her if you're not really into her, but you're not gonna pick up on the little things.
So how quick do you figure out, or how quick do you know how deep you want to go to figure out this girl or not? Like, is that just the first time you meet her, or it takes a minute, or?
That's good. For me, usually I can pick up on some things by the first date that I do like or I don't like, and most of the time, the second date comes and you're like, okay, yeah, this could work out,
Right.
or it's like, nah, this really isn't for me.
Okay. So what are some instant no's? Like, no.
Instant no's.
Instant no's. Like, they just, oh gosh, no.
For me personally, laziness. Like if or not, I would say laziness. Like if you don't have goals for yourself,
Right.
and goals for me is a big thing because in order to have goals, you have a vision for something, and when you have a vision, it means that you're okay with where you are now, but you want to be in a better position. So if you have goals and a vision, then that's the best thing.
No, like, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that. My silence did not mean I disagreed. I totally agree. I'm just it's just funny. But no, I agree, because that is something that I feel like real men. So when you try to, your first impression or the impression you try to put on a girl that you want to take seriously, what things do you take into account to make sure you're taken seriously?
To be taken seriously, I want her to know that I'm respectful. So by that, I will, this is old school. Like I was raised by obviously my parents, but I hung around with my great grandparents for a long time. So I would always see him open up the doors for my great grandma. So that's what I do. And so like I'll open up the car doors, open up doors to the restaurant. So it's just, being respectful and being polite.
Is chivalry dead in 2019?
It depends. It's rare. I can promise you that it's rare. It is rare.
It's rare. So let's back up. So, what do you do? Where'd you go to school? And what do you do now in terms of your career path and your passion?
Well, I grew up in Charlotte, as I mentioned earlier. I went to David W. Butler High School with you. And then I did my undergrad at the Winston-Salem State University, the best HBCU out there.
Shout out to the HBCUs.
Shout out to the HBCUs out there. So I got my undergraduate degree in healthcare management from there. And I'm currently in the master's program at Marshall University. I'm working towards that. So I'll be a graduate of Marshall in hopefully 2020. Right now, I currently am the director of human resources and assistant CFO at a long-term care facility in West Virginia. So I started there in July, and I've been doing my thing ever since.
How old are you?
22.
22. All those titles, all those accolades. Oh my goodness. I am surrounded by greatness. I love it. I love it. I love this show. I love it. I love what I do.
I highly doubt it, man.
Oh my gosh, man. It's crazy. I mean, it's not even because I know you, but you really, that right there that's something. You know what I'm saying? So in terms of where you want to go and where that's going to take you, it's just going to take it bounds and leaps. So with all those accolades and all that success, where's your standard for women right now?
My standard for women? My standard for women, you have to, well, not have to, but I would prefer.
This is you. No, okay. I'm about to say this is you.
I would prefer.
All right, keep it up.
You either have a job or you're in school, because a job you can be financially stable, and if you're in school, it means you're working to better your future. And so just because you're in school, you don't have to have a job. I mean, I'm not going to knock a girl because she's only in school. Like school is a full-time job, honestly.
Agreed.
And so if she's putting in the work in the classroom, I know that when she graduates, then look, that's the start right there. So
all right, man. So I mean, in West Virginia, like, what's that climate like up there?
Oh man, it's different from Charlotte.
Okay.
It is. The town that I live in is actually probably about 18,000 people. Really? So yeah, it's not a lot of people up there. I like it. Everybody's friendly. For example, like I was pumping gas one day, and this lady just came up and we were having a conversation while I was pumping gas, and like I that's never happened to me in Charlotte.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. People be on their way.
And I'll go to the store and have conversations with people that I don't even know, and I enjoy it up there. There's my favorite thing is there's no traffic. Like, there's really no traffic. There's only, from where I live into town, there's only one stoplight. So there's no traffic at all, no rush hour traffic.
Wow.
And then so, being up there from July until now, when I would come home, I'm like, oh, I hate this traffic. Like, I'm not used, because I wasn't used to that.
Right.
So
I mean, well, I'm guessing that's a good adjustment. That's for the better.
That's yeah.
Okay, so I mean, so even being in West Virginia and that number, that population, that just means that it's a little lonely down there. It's a little cold.
A little bit. I mean, there's been many nights that I've had cold nights, but I just get the blanket, snuggle up with myself. So.
No, that's awesome, man. I mean, so how do you express to those fellas and ladies who don't have a Valentine today or tonight?
Self-love.
Right.
Self-love. I mean, we always talk about, oh, who do you like? Who are you interested in? When's the last time you went on a date with somebody? When's the last time you took yourself out on a date? Like, when's the last time you took yourself out to eat? When's the last time you took yourself to the movies? Self-love. So, like, be your own Valentine.
Of course. I like that.
Self-love, man.
Take myself out to the movies.
Do it. I've done it before. I've took myself out to lunch.
Buffet, and I'm a cheat. I'm gonna treat myself right.
Do it.
No, but
get you a dessert. Do it.
Splurge on myself. Nah, man, I like that.
Self-love, because if you don't know how to love yourself properly, then you can't love somebody.
Exactly. And how do you expect them to satisfy you if you can't do it yourself?
Facts.
That's understandable. See, I love this knowledge, this wisdom that we have at such a young age.
Self-love.
It gives me hope for us, and the ones below us. But yes, man, Valentine's Day is tonight. Valentine's Day is here. If you're with your sweetheart, definitely be close and love and give each other great vibes. If you're by yourself, give yourself something nice.
Self-love.
Self-love. Hashtag. We're going to do that. All right. You're tuned in to WDRB, the voice of the community, the only station giving you double the information and inspiration. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to WDRB Media, the voice of the community, and those streaming live through free TuneIn Radio and the iHeartRadio. You're listening to Highly Doubted, and I'm your host, K.Q Dawg. And if you're tuning in, we're just discussing Highly Doubted with my special guest, Mack Smith. And, we've been talking about tips, rules, all right, standards, self-love, okay? If you do not have a Valentine's tonight, love yourself, because that's who you really need to have on your mind anyway. But this is also Highly Doubted, so I want to hear from the man himself. A highly doubted love story. I want to hear a story where you felt like you couldn't win in the game of love, and you know what? That highly doubted moment turned into success.
Well, earlier in the week, we actually talked about this, and I was like, highly doubted. When was there a time I was highly doubted? And he said, Mac, think about where it all started. and I was like, oh, that's what we're talking about. Okay, so my highly doubted love story was probably my junior year of high school. Because junior year, because she was a senior and she was about to go off to college. But it all started second semester. I would always see her in the cafeteria, and I was sitting with either you or Wesley, and every time I see her in the cafeteria, I'd be like, hey, there's my girl right there. And she had no idea who I was, but I knew who she was. And every day I would say it, and everybody around me would just laugh at me. They would laugh at me, and I would laugh too. But inside I'm thinking like, like these dudes really clowning me, but she's gonna be my girl one day. And so as time went on, as the semester, was winding down, we got close to summer, and I was like, well, I might as well shoot my shot. You know what I'm saying? So I did, and come to find out, she was feeling me too the whole time. And so I was like, wow, if I would have just spoke up, we could have had something going on the whole semester.
Could have.
So, we ended up being with each other for like the whole summer. She went to college, and I was still in high school. And so, high schoolers don't understand how busy college really is until they get there.
Right.
And so, she was always busy and, in class and, being involved in the campus. And that's good. Like that's what I would want her to do.
Definitely be involved.
But I didn't understand it because I was still in high school.
Right.
And so, things communication started failing, and things didn't work out for us. But I mean, she's doing good. I mean, that's all. I have nothing bad to say about her.
Oh, of course not.
So
right.
Big ups to her. I mean, but
no.
that was a time where I was highly doubted, and actually, at that time in my life, I had just got braces, so I still had the gap teeth.
Oh,
and so I knew if she liked me, I was like, dang, she really must think I'm cute or something.
All right.
Because I was not cute.
All right, so definitely. All right, so that brings us to my next segment, the glow up, right?
The glow up.
So
man.
so what was your glow up? What was like you felt like, okay, I'm
Well,
where the confidence was just like you can't tell me nothing anymore.
Well, it actually started when I got braces, and this is funny because I was husky, as you know, I was husky, and I got braces, and my teeth hurt, so I couldn't really like bite food or chew for like a couple weeks, and I lost all this weight, and I'm like, man, I kind of like how I look, so I started working out, and the braces did their job, and then after I got my braces off, which was like sophomore year of college, I was like, man, I kind of like who I am now.
So in terms of the consistency, because with the suits, like, me seeing you, you're always suited up. So like, how consistent are you with the suit game?
It really started at a young age. Like I have pictures of me when I was probably like 3 or 4 in a suit, like on an Easter Sunday, dressed up. And I know when my great grandfather would get home from work, we would go upstairs and he would take all his ties off his tie rack and put it around my neck, and I'll go downstairs, barely being able to walk because with the ties dragging the floor, and he'd do that every day. And it just started at a young age. Like I was always fascinated with like looking nice, because it's something about wearing a suit where like you have this feeling about yourself that like you look good, and nobody can tell you anything.
No, you can't.
I mean, dress.
I feel like $1 million.
Yeah,
right now.
Exactly. That's how I'm feeling.
Right. So in terms of like, because went to Winston-Salem,
right?
A&T. So we know the HBCUs. When you have your business majors, not even just HBCUs, but just
dress up Wednesday,
campus,
man.
Yeah,
it was
like
Wednesdays
campuses. Yeah, like when you see those people on campus when they're dressed up, dressed out, decked out,
it makes you proud, because it's like everybody looks nice. Like there's like on Wednesdays, nobody would be sagging their pants. Girls would be covered up. So it just makes you proud. Like it's like, yo, these are people I go to school with. Like, and we all look nice. And these kids are our future.
Of course. I mean, and at this point, I think we're coming to that age where we're at the forefront of that. So we got to be really on top of our game when it comes to leadership and being the example, especially with how things are going on. So
always be your best and dress your best, because you never know who's watching or listening.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
No, you always got to stay on point. Always stay key.
Here's what I always say. I always say that I stay ready, so I don't ever have to get ready. See,
So yeah, man, Mac, you definitely have a lot of things going on. So aside from school and your career-driven passion that you have, is there anything outside of that? Anything that you do on the side? That like a hobby or whatnot that's creative?
Yes, actually, I can play 3 instruments: the bass guitar, the drums, the piano. Well, a little bit of the piano. So I've been playing drums in church since 6th grade. So that's something that I do on the side. Also, I am a student pilot. I'm in the process of getting my pilot's license. So once I get it, we can be taking some trips somewhere.
Oh, most definitely.
But yeah.
All right, so yeah, man, your information, anything you want people to follow you. I know you got, I know you're a mogul, you're of your own in your own way. So I know you have people listening, you have people watching, want to know your information.
Of course.
So go ahead.
Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, at Mack MACK _ your boy YABOY. But also connect with me on LinkedIn. Like we are business people. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Clayton Smith, that's the government name right there. Clayton Smith. So connect with me on LinkedIn, you guys.
Oh no, that's definitely yes. Entrepreneurs, business people, get in touch with him. He has a lot of stuff. 22. Did you hear the things that he said?
22.
You know who he is? He is something. He's not just my friend. He is a boss. All right. I have bosses all around, every day, all the time. Thank you, Mac.
Thank you.
You are awesome, man. I'm weak. Join us next week as we continue our discussion on Highly
Y'all are a
Doubted.
mess, man.
We
I
want
love
to thank
y'all.
our special guest, Clayton Mack Smith.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you for everyone tuning in. Continue to tune in every Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m., excuse me. Please remember to connect with me by going to wdrbmedia.com, click on the radio show tab, and go to Highly Doubted. Also, if you want to be a guest on the show or want advertising, call me at 704-771-3971 or email me at can'tquit@icloud.com. That's KANTQUIT at icloud.com. You've been listening to Highly Doubted, and I'm your host, K.Q Dawg, on WDRB Media, the voice of the community for double the information and inspiration. Until next week, continue to be blessed. Tell all my friends that you're approachable. Hopefully you'll see more than a local do. You see